From America to Australia and everywhere in between, we bring you inspiring, informative interviews with accomplished South Asian diaspora spanning every field and walk of life. Welcome to the Desi Buzz Talk Show with your host, Dr. Shabana Parvez. Welcome back to the show. My guest today is Ms. Poonam Gupta-Krishnan. She is a visionary leader with nearly 3 decades of international business experience with deep passion for innovative technology applications, especially generative AI, artificial intelligence, and Vedic sciences. As the founder and CEO of Iyka Enterprises, Poonam has transformed data management and software services. She's received numerous accolades for innovation and leadership. Her work with the Government Technology Foundation has significantly impacted technology adaptation in the public sector, while the Indian American Business Council facilitated global business collaborations. Her latest book, Varna, Knowing Your Why, explores the intersection of entrepreneurship and Vedic social order principles. She's been featured in prominent media outlets and recognized with numerous awards for her contributions to technology and leadership. There are too many to mention here in this short bio. Welcome, Poonam. Thank you so much for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shabana ji. Thank you for your beautiful introduction. Very happy Women's Day to you and all the wonderful ladies that are tuning up. So, yes.
Thank you. So, Poonam, as we start, let's start off with your early life because you were born in Kanpur, India, right?
Yes,
So,
yes,
talk
UP,
to
yes.
us about how your early life in Kanpur shaped your career in technology and leadership.
Well, it's a nostalgic feeling, even the listening to the name of the town you grew up. But Kanpur has shaped everything that I am today. I learned resilience, hard work, curiosity, adaptability, fighting spirits. All of those qualities that kind of, shape up on early years and still keep, getting stronger. So my journey has been choosing exploration over safety, and that made all the difference in what I was able to accomplish from a very simple and very humble background, and then going to become a teacher, a scientist, then entrepreneur, and now researcher. So all of that kind of expansion built from one to the other, and bigger and more complex challenges were, I'm able to navigate through, and now, just ready to launch a book, as you said, Varna, Know Your Why, Sanatan scripture-based scientific behavioral um, assessment, and the background that helps people understand, the leaders understand their innate qualities and how to align them. So yeah.
That sounds really interesting. When is that book launching?
Soon.
We're really
So
excited
it's
for it.
yeah. So we are looking into mid-April, and the book is ready actually, and it comes with a software assessment, which means you can go online and take the test, and it kind of spells out your gems inside you that can be explored a lot better and aligned with your work or your team's work or your corporate leadership situations. So that tool is the software part of it is being built, and that's the delay that we are having. So yes, or mid-April is what we are looking into.
And now you mentioned being a research scientist. So you transitioned from being a research scientist to being a serial entrepreneur. What inspired this shift, and how did your scientific background influence your approach to entrepreneurship?
So there was never a shift actually. It has been a progression, an expansion, and finding myself in the process. And that just, happened to be in different fields. So being a scientist, I loved it. I enjoyed it. I learned to be structured, curious, all systematic approach, but I was also um, exploring myself and kind of getting inquisitive about, hey, I want to see how the interaction of techniques versus how the human life and society come together. And that led me to do the MBA and then led me to get onto the business. So it has been my own journey of expansion and taking, I hate to say took risk because, it's not always easy, but it's like when the inner fire is stronger than outer challenges, you step up even with your tummy crumbling and crawling and people saying, are you crazy? And leave the safety and move forward. So
That's,
yeah, it's been an expansion more than shift.
I love that. When your inner fire is greater than the outer challenges, that's really good.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
so what was your vision behind founding Iyka? Am I pronouncing it right? Is it Iyka?
Oh, absolutely, Aika. It stands for integrating your knowledge assets.
Okay.
So, what was the reason was very interestingly, I was working as a chemist in one of the international major ink manufacturing company, doing actually very well. And then I was seeing that as the new ERP was rolled out internationally, how everything slowed down. And um, I happened to just being Nemo of finding everything.
Mhm.
I saw a lot of smaller manufacturing closing because of technology. And digging deep, I found that this technology is making things more complex than simplifying.
Mhm.
And you have one structure, you keep on, okay, course correct and build something else, course correct and build something else. All of a sudden, you have something to manage that is not required. So I um, took this, you know, I mean, it took me several months of going back and forth, thinking through, and then I was very sure that there's a better way to handle this than it's being done. And I resigned from my company and became the consultant of IT consultant of my same company where I was a
Mhm.
chemist. And Iyka was basically my whole idea was simplify the technology clutters.
Mhm.
If there's a straight line needed, you don't need to go like five different directions to get to that line. And that was the only very simple thing I took. Obviously, later on, took many courses to get myself more acclaimed over how that really works. And I said, well, the businesses should not have to focus on technology. They do manufacturing better. They are good at what they are making.
Mhm.
And so that's where the Iyka was born. But then the name was eh, came up with the integrating your knowledge assets so that you can focus on the business that you are in rather than technology. So that's how it was born.
So now that's evolved into doing also, like you said, from just consulting, you've gone to providing
A lot of things.
and
Yes, a lot
machine
of things.
learning based solutions. And it's also been making strides in the solutions in like healthcare, education, and government sectors.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, we started out just as
But
a consulting, obviously.
huh?
We over the years we kept growing with in three geographical regions in in the world, and build many products on along the way, and those products mainly focused on healthcare, education, and the government sector, providing them, you know, managing their data basically. So wherever you have a complexity of in how can we come up with, so we built a number of products, data analytics, so we went on the non-traditional way of data discovery rather than the very expensive data manipulation and then analyzing that data. So that was one thing. And then learning management system, recruitment systems. We built a whole lot of products that simplified the time it took to do things, the work it, some of our products actually have gotten, now we don't even do the going through the patent and whatnot. So we have done that. So we build all the products and solutions to to see how we can, if the research is needing a data, they should be able to just touch the keyboard, should get it, rather than wait for a month or two to get the data to be analyzed. So those are the things that has simplified things, from the research to personalized medicine to personalized treatment. Um, all of those things have been much efficiently handled from what we were able to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole goal that if you talk to anybody in Iyka, they'll say, we keep it simple. So we take the complex part and keep it simple for you, so that you don't have to go through many steps to get what you need. You means the client.
That's the value of technology. That's what you want technology to do for you, right? You want to
Absolutely,
make your life
absolutely.
easier, not
Doesn't
harder.
happen all the time.
Exactly.
I do a lot of conversation on digital transformation, and
Mhm.
you'll be surprised how much is a miss there is.
Yeah, when you speak about digital transformation, what do you see as the biggest challenges in that space today? I mean, how
See,
this
so if
uh,
you statistically look, digital transformation fails about 70 to 80% of the time.
mhm.
And the
Wow.
reason for this, yes, and the reason for that is that, the companies make it a IT department's problem.
Hmm.
Digital transformation is not IT department's problem. It is not technology. It's the alignment of people, processes, and technology tools to serve the customer efficiently, streamlined. And we put a lot less effort into these alignments versus technology. Technology is only as good as you make it. It's like, you can buy the fanciest car and the driver doesn't know how to drive, doesn't make any difference. It's
Right.
gonna be sitting in the showcase. And it's like, it's the employee engagement in our country is over 70, 80% less than most very developing countries. Can you imagine that?
That's a quite high,
Shocking, right?
shocking figure.
So the employee engagement is so low, people look at the clock to just get off the work.
Hmm.
So that simply means they are not enjoying the work. So and the new technology is, it's hard to change. And that's where my book came into picture, to identify what is a person's innate tendencies, likings, the talents. Once you align all of those and then you get your processes aligned, then technology can make these dots come together to give you the end result. And that is why there's a failure, massive failure in digital transformation, because people make it for it's all technology. No, it's not. It's
Hmm.
a very heavily collaborative process of human talent and your business processes before the technology comes into the picture.
That makes sense. You kind of have to know what you're wanting the technology to do for you. If you don't know,
Exactly.
you can't really.
Exactly. We go by fad. Okay, make it all cloud based. No, it doesn't work that way.
Hmm. Very
Make
interesting.
it all this way. No, it doesn't work. You have to involve your HR, your operations, your technology before you are able to handle that.
Hmm. And so
Right.
um, with yeah, and so yeah, you really want to be more customer centric, responsive to the actual needs of the person, and the person needs to know what they like, and what the person or the team or the company needs to know what their vision is, what their values are, so everything can be aligned, and then you feed that into the technology, right? And
Yeah, so we have built a I have built a very robust algorithm. Once you take that assessment, it really spells out, hey, you are a deep thinker or you are a taker, and there is nothing right or wrong or good or bad about any of
Mhm,
you know. Best athletes cannot expect it to be the best singer as well, or
mhm,
the best researcher cannot be, a researcher, a Nobel Prize winner in economics cannot be expected to have the same amount of talent in say kitchen.
mhm. Right.
That does not make a person good or bad or so. Once you are able to see your, oh, gosh, I have this talent, I
Mhm,
can really work in such and such field, or not only field. I have these issues right now. How do I handle it? And once there is an advisor based on what you are built of and can advise, you navigate it. These are the best options for you. Don't try to go head on to something that's not your strength. You will
mhm.
only win when you play off of your strength.
In some ways, I see, you said you've incorporated all of this. That's how you've incorporated the AI software along with
Yes,
book and
yes,
teaching. In some ways, as you speak,
yes.
I brings to mind something like, I know this a lot, it's a lot more elegant and elaborate than this, but I'm thinking about, the half elf. Have you heard of that one? Like, it's like
Hmm.
a half elf and then your MBTI, your
Hmm.
personality assessment, kind of combining those, and almost like this super guidance counselor guiding you to what is it that is best for you in your particular business or field or corporations.
Yeah. So it is similar, but not
Not
really.
quite.
Yeah, not
There's a
quite.
lot more nuanced than that and more elaborate than that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is very elaborate, but it's all the genetic makeup of a person.
Hmm.
So when you are putting your team together, say, your department, you may be a department head, and you have like 10 different duties to handle. You would, once you know what fits in where, you're not only looking for their degree and years of experience, you're also looking for their way of approaching
Your
any
work
issue,
style.
any challenge, work style, and how that navigate. So all of that comes into picture and makes it much easier for the company to sail, with like each department is running with the people's strength, rather than, okay, I need a job, I got this master's degree in such and such programming and so many years of architect experience, but I hate talking to people.
Hmm. Hmm.
It could be anything, could be anything.
Yeah.
And you know nobody's gonna tell you that, hey, they need a job, they will do everything to get the job, but that's not in the best interest of yourself, for the company or the person.
Hmm.
So once you align all of that, makes it simpler.
Yeah. What is a key message that you want to that you hope to convey as you've delivered so many 100 talks on AI, data analytics, business leadership? What's your key message?
Key messages depending on who we are talking to. So the key message for the companies, for the organizations, department heads is, um, you got to be human centric before your business operation will work.
Hmm.
You cannot treat humans as a resource that you can deploy and get rid of when you are done. So that's just the human centric thought is way more important than current world is recognizing. The key message for the junior people, like people like within few years in jobs and so on, or entrepreneurship, or even mid management, is how do you navigate so that your growing family challenges, your personal needs are met, and your obligations toward whatever you are doing is are taken care of. There is way more importance to finding yourself, taking care of your emotional, physical, social needs, family needs, before you are able to give out anything.
Yeah. And
So
so
yeah.
it's still, what inspired you to write your book, Varna, Varna, Knowing Your Why, and
Mhm.
uh, talk a little bit about what Varna is, and a little bit.
Absolutely. Okay, that's a great question. That's something very close to me. Um, Inspiration is very simple. I work towards finding myself, and a voracious reader of all kinds of material, and have happened to study Vedic literature a lot. And then I found out, oh my gosh, there is something that is helping me. How can I bring this out in the world to help others? So that's where the thought of, hey, if I combine the technology and my experience and the timeless principles that are in scriptures, now we are talking about mapping the whole personality. And if that personality can be guided through the life path in career, in family, in society, we have a better world. So my inspiration was nothing but very simple, helping myself. I found what helped me can help a lot of people.
Share with others. Yeah, that's a beautiful motivation. Um, and so then this interest in Vedic science, how
Mhm.
that you mentioned a little bit how it has influenced your leadership style. Because like I said, as you found yourself and your path, you want to share it with others. And how has that also influenced your approach to diversity and inclusion?
Very interesting question, Dr. Praise. So when I read a lot of so actually I have served Diversity MBA magazine as a CTO for a long time. So I'm very closely understanding both sides of the world. So my company itself is women-owned company, women and minority-owned company myself, and but I know from the eyes of the corporations as well. So have a very good understanding of that. Um, Unfortunately, it has started out with a fight for women to get the equitable position in the workforce and in the society. But it it must have by now, and it has not come to a point that the uniqueness is not dependency. It's not anything that is less of. It's a actual and a strength. So the more variety you have, the better off you are in creating a product or services or serving or anything. So that's where it goes diversity and inclusion. Um, when I was, I read a lot of books from the current authors about the personality development and so on, and managing emotions and managing the workforce and lots of different things. Almost everybody was pointing towards this. This principle came from this, Vedic literature, and this one came from this one. So I definitely have to go back and look at, and I said, oh my gosh, what they were referring is the tip of the iceberg, while the actual thing is way more deeper.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew Sanskrit a little bit, and a lot of translations were not satisfying me. So I went back to polishing my Sanskrit language knowledge. And when I read in the real text, it's just mind blowing scientific deep, 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 deep knowledge. So that just kind of, one thing leading to the other has got me deeper into the research. And then there are a lot of things I want to do this and this and this and this, but then I picked one and I said, okay, let's take the traits. So what is called triguna is means three qualities. So all human psyche and behavior in Sanatan scriptures is divided into only three major categories. So it's like a rainbow. So you say seven colors of rainbow, they are not seven, they are all merging to each other. So there are hundreds and thousands that in categorized in seven areas. So there are three major categories that's called sattva, rajas, and tamas. Don't worry about that. But those three category, different combination brings what is called hues, the literal translation of Varna, Varna. So the hue means what is your hue? Where in that
Like what's your
um
USP and what's your
huh?
what is your USP, like your unique selling point or your
Yeah, so
uh,
not it's a combination of things. It's not even a 3D, it's like 5D or 10D, of this aspect or that, how do you eat, how do you think, how do you approach, how do you walk, how do you sleep? Everything affects everything else, right? So when I looked at the categories of these three categories of the tendencies or the gunas, I took this and broke it down to like about 40 different aspects. And then I put it on, okay, now let's test it out and see when we talk about these three categories, then they make four what is called um misguided called caste. It's not a caste.
mhm.
It's called uh, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. It's a personality character, the way, the behavior. I took it down and just those four categories broke it down to even much further with seven broader categories. Okay? And even then, it's customized to each type of person, age group, type of profession, a country. It has taken consideration of a whole lot of different aspects. And when you go through that test, it's not only testing your intellect, it's testing your liking, your tendency, what's your inbuilt. I mean, if I had known my this strength of research, I wouldn't have been leaving, one going to the other. I could have, got expansion into right just in the research.
Mhm.
But it took me many, many years and many kind of detours to find myself. You don't have to do that. When such a high quality knowledge is already present and you have the access to. So today what's happening is the knowledge is present, but then you have to go through all these scriptures, figure it out.
Mhm.
So what I have taken that knowledge, put it on the vehicle of technology and brought it down to your level that you don't have to do any of the deep research that I already did and figure out where do you stand. How do you approach a situation or problems or thought or any of that? So that's what this Vernon is,
That's great.
the hues. So I hope
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
explained
a
that
really
enough.
good explanation. Thank you. And so you also, outside of work, you've done a lot of, you have a lot of social projects and work in the
Mm.
community. Let's talk a little bit about some of those. Like
Uh-huh.
Noida, you said is a school for kids, a school for kids in Noida. That's one. You're doing community development projects. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I have, learning is no good unless it has positive ripple effect in the community.
Hmm.
And that's just the motto that kind of I copied from my mom, nothing else. It's much simpler. So whether it's in US where I have all my working life, most of my working life are in India. That's my motherland. And so I have been involved in formally and informally in helping the community. So I founded a not-for-profit called Government Technology Foundation. I was bitten by the bug that, the policies take forever to change, while technology does not sit and wait for you.
Mm-hmm.
So what is publicly funded takes much longer and makes it much harder, and it has to change. That's how the Government Technology Foundation came into picture, which, by the way, now it had done its job. So now we took a back seat, and yeah, but that made a lot of positive change in Chicagoland area. And then I founded Indian American Business Council. My idea of the future belongs to extreme collaboration, not a specialization.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be a specialist of any kind, but you got to, whatever field, you could be a doctor, you could be an engineer of some kind or the other, you could be a social worker. Unless you collaborate with other aspects, like here we are talking about the subject matter and technology, we would not succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, when the Indian American Business Council was the business plan I wrote, the whole idea was you could be good at technology, so what? The local person knows what are the local challenges, whether the diabetes is a problem in that area, or the irrigation is a problem, that's the food, or the food storage is a problem, or the bugs are the problem, or whatever has to be, only local person can know and can solve. So you have to collaborate and bring it out to the table where you can bring out the specialty and create a solution. The future belongs to a solution. Future does not belong to the container-based knowledge. So that's how that happened. And then I helped build one of the media centers in south side of Chicago for the youth that was like a school dropout all the time, and we needed something most of these people live in a public housing. How do you turn the community from a desperate, a lot of so pleasant dynamics in the community with a lot of dropouts, turn that into a community that has their community programming, from entertainment to politics to discussion to cooking to everything, and then create a training center where the youth from the same community can be trained depending on their talent or liking, without having to go through the school or college, because now they are anywhere from 20 to 35 and on the road, so gangs became a problem. So in a very little way, I'm very proud to say that, yeah, the community is thriving and I had something to do with it. The same thing found the rat pickers in India. These two IIT pass out graduates were trying to do something. I said, wow, that is so good. And we never think of it. These rat pickers are rat pickers, you don't think they are doing their job, and we think we are just fine. But then we don't realize that don't have any sophisticated skills. So they sell it for such a little, so they hardly made ends meet. And the bigger problem was, do you know that they have kids too? The kids don't know what is a regular life, taking shower or eating on time or sleeping or anything. And especially if they are girls,
Mm-hmm.
by the time the periods come, they have no clue what is sanitization, what, just life begins so difficult. And when it comes to your attention and you see some young kids, people are trying to do something, you do nothing but just to go and help them. So things like that I have tried to, as I said, formally or informally, um, sometimes with money, which I don't have too much of, sometimes with ideas, sometimes with my skills, sometimes connections. We try to help out.
Hmm. That's beautiful. Thank
Mhm.
you. But other ways in which you are helping empower and educate others are through this Mentor on the Road program. You've connected businesses across 35 cities, at least in the US.
Mhm.
What do you want to say about mentorship and the future of entrepreneurship?
Mentorship is a must in every situation for every, even today I have mentor, by the way.
Mhm.
Because somebody has done something better that I'm learning, and that goes for everybody. So mentorship program brings the mentor and mentee in closer proximity to help out navigating the next step. The mentors and mentee relationship could be weeks long, months long, years long. It does not have to be, drag, but some place where a mentee can go to and get the direction from is the key to success almost in anything in life. I will say I have had mentors. I can't even thank them enough. Every aspect of my life, every time, I mean, as a kid also, my first of my mentors were like, um, I was like a younger teen, and he was a retired IPS officer. And I would be so hungry for, hey, how do we do that? So he started giving, you listen to me and go search and find the books for me and give it to me. And that changed my whole world. So I would say seek out mentor and be, mentee or mentor relations for different people. And life is so much easier.
Yeah. And you have won, as we mentioned in the beginning, more than 35 prestigious awards, including the IoT Leadership Award. What are all these accolades mean? What do they mean to you?
First of all, I acknowledge the faith people have put me, the organizations have put me to, um, in these um, awards and accolades. I think they mean so much to me as it makes me, A, as a human being, do better, but B, and more important, as an opportunity to reach out higher, deeper, wider, and reach out to the people who are shy of, don't think they deserve any one or less. So when these awards and accolades are for me access to the world, and I'm extremely humble for the organizations and the publications and so on for helping me reach, expand my horizon.
That's great. And besides, before your journey, your story has been written about already in some
Several places. Hmm.
Feel Free to Prosper. What kind of
Hmm.
lessons, those who read that book, what kind of key lessons you think you would like them to take
Yeah,
away?
there are more than one book that have me as a case study.
Mhm.
Lesson is very simple and very difficult to understand. Okay. The simpler part of that is when the deeper we go inside, the higher we reach outside. And the outside is automatic when we work on inside. And what is this inside and outside is I am not a believer of fake it till you make it.
Mhm.
I am a bigger believer of find yourself till you own it. You own yourself 100%. Good, bad, ugly, ready or not. Anybody's judgment does not affect, should not affect us.
Mhm.
And once we own ourselves just the way we are,
Hmm.
we make we are so much more powerful, so much more intelligent, so much more aggressive, so much more calm, so much more comfortable. That's beyond our own wildest dream.
Um, those are very
That's what I found.
cool. And so this um, you this is still a common thread throughout everything you're talking about, and like authenticity, individuality,
Mhm.
true authenticity, and true like self-worth. And this leads me to my question about, holistic leadership. You are you say it's a way of life. How does, holistic leadership shape your personal life or your professional life?
Leadership to me, it's like leading others to what they can't see,
Hmm.
and you have seen it. It has got nothing more or less to anything. You can be leader and follower at the same time for the two different things. So when we say holistic leadership, it's owning every aspect of ourselves without question and without blame to ourselves or anybody. When we keep touching our depth, we are able to see what others can't see. And when somebody, some your younger person reach out, how do we do that? You respond or help or guide or make plans from the place of knowing rather than this has to be this way or that way. And that's what holistic leadership for me means. And if I were to give you an example, it's it's like when say young professional reaches out, you cannot say, hey, you have done a BE, go do the MBA or take a job or you. All of that is true though, but you got to know what this person's personal situations are, family, financial, social, religious, could be anything, physical, emotional, and what their aspiration is, and then you build upon bringing that person or your department team member from where they are to where you want to go, and that's the leadership. I call it holistic leadership.
Hmm. What has been the most rewarding project that you've ever worked on, and why?
No,
I think I
I
know the
never thought that anything I did had any lesser value to it,
answer.
because almost everything builds upon what has gone before.
Mhm.
But so it's all iterative progression and expansion. So I enjoyed almost a lot of
Ev-
things.
mhm.
But now, if you say most important, because that's where my whole head is, and because it's an iterative process, and it has come to that point where I'm ready to launch the book on Varna system that will help corporate leadership, professionals, young and mid career, even the executives. That assessment will help. We will be integrating the assessment for one of our other services is IT staffing. So that we use AI-based platform that we build to make it simpler, easier, faster, cheaper, efficient staffing. But then now the staffing would add another aspect of aligned individual for your team rather than just a resource to get certain project done.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I would say that's why why it's more important when I close my eyes and feel the positive impact it will have on people is tremendous, beyond generations, beyond geography, culture, skills, anything. So that's just the sheer impact that it will bring makes me so much more excited about it.
Mhm. What does the future hold for you in terms of your Iyka enterprises? How do you foresee it tackling any global challenges?
Um, I will keep improving into what we do, making technology solutions accessible, not fear-based, and just to grow into more deeper alignment with the human resources as well.
Mhm.
So it's just not that only technology, not the technology with the human element in that.
Yeah, well, you sort of started answering my next question because that's I was going to ask you what do you hope to see in the corporate world because you were a thought leader in this. What do you hope to see in the next decade?
Um, Next deck. So if you had asked this question a decade before, I would have answered differently. But and I would have said something like, you have to bring in the human aspect into your organization to survive, to thrive. And now I will say, if you want to survive, forget about thrive. If you want to survive, you must have the human element into the mix of your offering to the world.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
there is now no options, no maybes, no thriving if you want to even survive that.
Mm, yeah. And so, Poonam, what I wanted to ask you, what's like you would call your secret to success?
I'm glad you asked this question. Not many people ask in the same way.
Mhm.
Well, there is no secret actually. And the only secret is owning myself 100%.
Believing in
And
yourself.
what
Yeah.
owning, believe it. Many times I don't even believe myself. I think, who am I to do this? But even that fear I own. That okay, I see that I have this fear.
That's a good
And
way.
that ownership makes it, make me, I know that I would be fearless at times, but that's okay. I can own that too. I would
Mhm.
not succeed 100% of the time, and that's the ownership as well. So the secret sauce is like, I have changed 3 careers, 6 jobs, and I was never let go. I resigned and consciously make an decision to move.
Mhm. Yeah.
And simply because I chose expansion over safety. And
Mhm.
that just, if you want to call it a secret sauce, I don't want your listener to think that you have to be that super genius to do anything. No, I am not even coming from being average, a below average, and just keep working to to be okay with everything you have. Once you are okay with that, you have a chance to improve because you know where you stand, where you have to walk from.
Mhm.
And that's the secret if you want to call it a secret.
Mhm. What about as a physician? My one of my interests is always asking successful people like yourself, how do you keep your physical and mental health? How do you balance yourself, whether it's emotionally, physically, or you have any particular routines or go-tos that, re-energize you or keep you healthy?
Absolutely. Yeah. All of it. So I have always worked for, always means at least 30 plus years. Um, Worked on improving, on building on something as it comes to my attention, this needs help. It could be physical, emotional, psychological, financial, anything. And that is number one, um, some tendencies, I do not get bogged into, oh, it's Friday night, let's have a drink. No, you can have a drink, I have no problem. But the moment I have alcohol, my meditation practice just goes off. Somehow I don't know, it just dries off my system. Um, so my food is fairly regular. I eat out when I have to. Otherwise, I prefer home cooked meal. I'm a vegetarian. I try to keep as close to nature as possible, which is sometimes possible, sometimes not. So sunlight, around the nature, water, green, even if it's 20 minutes walk, is way more better than, breaking yourself in the gym. I don't go to gym. I'm I like to go walk by you know, the lake that we live in. So I love nature. I treat nature as my therapist, like sunlight, the fresh air, the
Speaking my
barefoot walking. Yes, so
language.
all of that helps me a lot. Obviously, people like yourself, my physicians, are the wonderful people who make sure that I don't have anything going.
Mhm.
So they, annual checkup,
Mhm.
I'm pretty regular with that, whether it's a dental or medical, or so I do take a good care of yourself. You got to respect yourself.
That's really good. Really
Mm.
good advice. So, anything final words on any message you want to share with the audience about achieving success while staying true to one's values?
You know, after spending the number of years that I have spent in this world, success definition is so messed up in today's world.
That's true.
Success is no place to go to. Success is I had this day nice. I have my dream that I'm working towards. A friend calls me, I don't panic. I go to and spend some time and find out and help out and seek help when I want to. Success is in little things around you. Success is doing better in any aspect of life, better today than yesterday. Hey, I used to eat da da da, all the junk food. Today, instead of 3 times a day, I only ate 2 times a day outside in McDonald's. That's a success to me. Getting better of yourself a little at a time
It's a journey,
is
not a
success.
destination.
It's not a destination. There is no place to reach to.
Hmm.
There's no place to reach to. Even if you get this award, that award, I have had enough of those. That gets over in half an hour to an hour. That's not the success. Success is when you are living daily, working daily,
Or a little bit improving every day and
every day,
continual pursuit of improvement
and every aspect.
in every
It's not
aspect.
only financial, it's not only career, it's not only this or that.
Right? Could be
It's every
spiritual,
aspect.
be health, anything. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Those are words of wisdom. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. It's been very inspiring and enjoyable speaking to you, and we look forward to your book coming out soon.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and hope it.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you for
Dr.
having me on the
Parvez.
show. You.
Lovely. Have a wonderful day, weekend.
Yeah.
Enjoy.